Hey everyone, this is Tracie Collins, and today we are talking the overturn of Roe v. Wade and what that means. So if you were just meeting me for the very first time, my name is Tracie Collins. I am here to discuss something that I am only going to discuss probably one time on this platform, simply because I have discussed it and have curated my business solely around helping Black and Brown people have better birthing outcomes and also training Black and Brown birthing professionals. But today we are talking the overturn of Roe v. Wade and what that means for Black and Brown birthing people and everybody else. So just like everybody, if you were glued to your phones yesterday, and saw that come through, I felt like I was punched in the gut. And it took me about probably 2.5 to 3 hours to calm down. And I can't even say that I am calm. I went through a series of emotions of being enraged, infuriated, not surprised, scared, pissed, literally shaking, out of breath, back to scared, back to not surprised. And I need for us who live in the United States to, especially Black women, and those who love Black women. I need for us to no longer think of ourselves as American citizens, but start to think of ourselves as global citizens, okay? And when you are in a place where your basic human rights are constantly jeopardized on a daily basis, so much so to where you can't even live, exist, breathe, earn a living wage, drive, go out in public in safety, put gas in your car, buy food, have access to affordable housing, now have access to reproductive health care. And for Black and Brown bodies, we are more so at detriment to this because of the Black maternal and morbidity rate in the United States. So what does this mean? I need you to, and I am not, how can I say this, y'all? I'm really trying to put this in a way that gets you guys thinking about opening up your minds and looking at what are your options. I want you guys to start thinking inward, and I need for our healers out there, our Black healers out there, our Black healing practitioners out there, our Black midwives out there, our Black nurses and doctors out there to start becoming global. And there is going to have to be a movement to where you are going to have to look outside of this place called United States, because it's not, it's divided. And it has never been for us. And we have to stop fighting to try and make it something that it is not ever going to be. Because one thing that America is consistent in doing is it's showing us who she is, okay? And the one surefire way of getting exhausted is grinding and grinding until there's nothing left. So in order for us to survive, in order for us to redefine and recreate our narrative, we're going to have to think outside of the box, and things are going to have to be done differently. So there needs to be a strategy put in place to begin to implement some procedures, some steps, some ways of moving about the lines. Now, if you don't already know, there is a huge Black mass exodus that is happening and has been happening for the last several years out of this country. This definition of insanity is doing something over and over and expecting a different result. What I don't want us to continue to do is to continue to do something over and over with this country and expecting a different result. What happens is, in Black folks in particular, especially Black women, when we do that, we die. And in order to change the narrative, to be your ancestors' wildest dreams, we have to do something different, okay? So in my recent research, and I mean recent is in the last 24 hours, I have literally looked up the safest places for Black women to give birth in the world. And every country that came up was a European country. Norway, Sweden, Spain. And I myself have a hard time believing those are the safest places on earth for us. So with that being said, since we are the E gene, it's time to take our mass level of skill sets. It's time to take our mass level of knowledge. It's time to take all of that we know and spread it around. So that way, those Black and brown birthing bodies can feel safe enough to go and come to us no matter what region of the globe we're at or we're in, okay? There's no way or no reason that on this earth, the safest places for us to give birth are European countries. I refuse to believe that. And also, let me just shout out my girl, Stephanie Perry, because it's her who actually spawned this before the Roe v. Wade. I was already thinking about doing this video. But of course, when yesterday happened, my spirit is just in turmoil. But it was something that Stephanie Perry said in one of her videos. I can't even, excuse me, Stephanie, but I can't even remember what video she was talking about. And she said, you know, Black women are leaving the United States just to have a baby because they're too scared to have a baby here. Okay. There's no reason your basic human rights should be compromised the way that they are in this country. And this speaks to any human being here. Any human being who is tired of living under the dictatorship of the white male patriarchy lens. Okay, and we can get into those who vote against their better, the interests that serve them. We already know. I won't get into that here because I'll get too pissed. However, I need for our Black healers, our Black nurses and midwives and doctors, our Black doulas, I need for you guys to now start thinking globally for those of us who haven't already, and start thinking about repatriating somewhere else so that our Black and brown birthing brothers and sisters and families can feel safe enough to procreate and spread the love of having their families around. So we do not have to stay in an abusive relationship with this country. Contrary to what America makes you believe, you guys, we are actually the deciders of how this happens. But the way it happens with media, with laws and legislation, they make you think that they have control, and we know that that's false. We understand that that is a false narrative. So with that being said, I implore you and I challenge you to begin thinking about redesigning and recreating, rebuilding, strategizing, if you have not already, your life, and joining the global mass exodus that's happening. Taking your level of skill set. So, because when I tell you we're needed globally, we are everywhere. And all women, all birthing people deserve to have the freedom of choice, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And they also deserve to have the freedom to have a safe and healthy pregnancy, labor, delivery, and postpartum. And that should not be decided by the powers that be that do not look like that. And that don't have their best interests at heart. So, in my message today, I hope I have made myself clear. And it's very hard for me to have this kind of conversation or deliver this kind of message in a way that is not passionate, in a way that does not demonstrate how infuriated I am. But I also believe in being part of the solution versus a part of the problem. And I also am not about talking versus about being about action. So we can either be a part of the solution or part of the problem. We can either say, okay, we're just gonna continue to take what they dish out, or we can say we're not. And we have a say over us and how we choose to live our life and receive healthcare and receive the human rights that we deserve. So I hope this message resonates with you guys. I hope this message speaks to you guys. And for those of you who it doesn't, y'all, you can. But if it does, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. And we're going to talk about how to strategize, how to create systems and build business infrastructure so you can be the global citizen and global CEO that is in you. So you can live the life that you deserve. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Tracie Collins, and I'll see you next time.